Our vision really for Bonbouton is we want to build the smart clothes for user to really track all of the vital information. Obviously, health is one of the things that people always care about. My father actually died from cancer, so I really do care about health.
Healthcare is like a huge issue right now, and it's definitely in the national dialogue. You know, people are always talking about it. It's been a huge one for me personally, actually, because so much of my income is going to like health insurance these days compared to what it was like 5 years ago. And I think with the smart clothes, what we can do is, normally you go to the doctor twice a year, and the doctor is monitoring like some, certain vitals, like your, especially body temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, breathing rate, things like that. Like what we can do is like we can put all those kind of instrumentation into like a simple T-shirt, for example, and people can wear these things every day. So it's kind of like going to a checkup every day instead of like only twice a year. So if you would ask me, why is that information critical or important? Honestly, I don't know, but it seems like we have the technology to do it. So we should try to do it, and then perhaps from that data, people who are kind of knowledgeable about that thing can parse the data or analyze the data, pass on to insurance companies, and perhaps we can get better rates.
So the mercury thermometer, along with the digital thermometer right now, can only detect up to 0.1 degrees C, and is a hard sensor. Our innovation is really to integrate the graphene into the smallest, thinnest temperature sensing element. There are several ways to work with graphene. The most expensive one is using the CVD, which is a chemical vapor deposition. You make a perfect thin layer, mono layer of graphene. But we choose not to work with the CVD because the CVD is a very, very expensive equipment, and then we think that it would never be able to adopt in the real world. So we choose to work with inkjet printing because it's a scalable manufacturing method. It has been there for a long time, and actually the innovation is on how to make the graphene into the ink that can be printed, and how to optimize the structure of the printed deposition and make it as the temperature sensing element. So we use the specialized material deposition printer developed by Fujifilm. The reason we use that because it's much more powerful for researchers to optimize the process. But when we optimize the process, we can easily transfer the technology from the lab into the manufacturing partner where they have a much larger scale. And
I look at it, it's like, one time there was like a phone, and then you had an MP3 player, and then you had to carry these two things in your pockets, and now it became one thing. And that it's like a little tiny innovation, but it was actually huge, like looking back at it, So now, you have these bracelets, and then maybe you got the chest strap and some, I don't know, whatever else, these things. And what we can do is like we can put all these instruments into like one T-shirt with one processing device to send to one app. Basically, that's what we can do. What we can really bring to the table is, I would say other companies don't have the experience in apparel manufacturing, and the way they're manufacturing it is highly specialized, so the product is so expensive, and it could be like a deal breaker for a lot of people. But I know from making tons of clothes that I can make the same thing for much, much less.